Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a close look at DJI's latest kit, the Mavic 4 Pro drone and the new RC Pro 2 control.
Yeah, lots of buzz around these. We've dug through quite a detailed piece from Drone Excel, Petapixel's hands-on video review, and even the official user manual.
Right, and our mission today really is to cut through the hype and figure out what these new features actually mean for you, the user. We'll look at the capabilities, the good stuff, and maybe some, potential drawbacks based on these early takes.
Exactly. Go beyond just the specs and see what this gear can really do.
Okay, so let's kick things off with probably the most talked about feature. This infinity gimbal on the Mavic 4 Pro, it sounds pretty wild.
It really is something different.
Yeah.
We're talking a full 360-degree roll capability, so the camera can literally spin completely around on that horizontal axis.
Wow, 360 degrees, and the manual says you can control that directly.
Yep. There's a dial in the controller for manual control, but DJI's also built it into some intelligent flight modes.
Ah, okay, so it's not just a manual trick. How does that work in practice? Is it just for showing off, or is it actually useful?
Well, Drone Excel mentions a new quick shot mode specifically designed to use this role. Think about, like, orbiting a subject while the whole background spins.
Interesting effect.
Yeah, and they say you can use it in hyperlapses and waypoint missions, too. Could lead to some really unique perspectives you couldn't easily get before.
Okay, and Petapixel actually tried this out, right? What did they think? Were they sold on it?
They definitely thought it was fun, but also genuinely useful. They highlighted getting those dramatic Dutch tilt angles easily, which can add a lot of energy to a shot.
Right, those tilted shots.
Exactly. And they also noted it just gives the gimbal a much wider range of movement overall. They think that'll be especially handy for creators doing a lot of vertical video.
Makes sense. So a potentially powerful creative tool, not just a gimmick. Okay, moving on to the core of the drone, the cameras. Sounds like some big upgrades here, too.
Oh yeah, the main Hasselblad camera gets a next-gen 43 sensor. That larger sensor is key.
Why is that? Better low light.
Better low light, definitely cleaner images. Plus, it helps get that shallower depth of field for a more, cinematic look. And the specs are up to 6K video at 60 frames per second in HDR.
6K HDR, nice. And slow motion?
4K at 120 frames per
Yeah.
second. Super smooth.
Impressive. What about stills? Are we seeing improvements there?
Big time. It can shoot 100 megapixel photos now, and they're talking about roughly 16 stops of dynamic range.
16 stops. That's quite a jump from the Mavic 3's 12.8, isn't it?
It is. It means capturing way more detail in both the really bright spots and the deep shadows in a single shot. Less messing around with bracketing.
Gotcha. And I saw something about dual native ISO.
Yeah, and a wider aperture too, f2 now, compared to f2.8. So again, letting in more light, better performance across different conditions. Dual native ISO basically gives it 2 sweet spots for sensitivity, reducing noise.
So better light gathering, more detail. Sounds like a solid upgrade for that main camera. But it's not just the one camera anymore, is it? There are telephoto lenses too.
Correct. 2 secondary telephoto cameras. There's the 70mm, which gives you about a 2.5x optical zoom. It's got an 11.3-inch sensor. Also does 4K up to 120 apiece.
Okay, 70mm Drone XL called that subtle compression.
Yeah, it kind of flattens the perspective a bit, makes things in the distance seem closer together. It can be a nice low.
And the other one goes even further.
Yep, 168mm lens, that's 6x optical zoom. And this one has a new, slightly larger 11.5-inch sensor. Perfect for getting detailed close-ups without having to fly right up to something.
Like inspections or wildlife, maybe.
Exactly. And the cool thing is you can apparently switch between all 3 cameras really easily right on the controller screen, like having different prime lenses on hand instantly.
Very versatile. And what about color profiles for grading later?
You get the standard profiles, obviously, close HLG for HDR displays. And then for the serious post-production work, you've got D-Log and the newer D-Log M profile. Plenty of flexibility there.
Right. Drone XL also mentioned something called Explorer mode. What's that about?
Yeah. Explorer mode. It lets you use digital zoom up to 24x apparently across all the cameras.
24x. Image quality must take a hit, though.
Oh, for sure. Digital zoom always degrades quality, especially at the extreme end. But think of it for scouting, checking out something far away before you fly closer, or maybe even for search and rescue, where getting close isn't an option.
Yeah, I can see the use case there. So Petapixel's overall take on this whole camera system, they seem pretty positive.
Extremely positive. They basically said it's the best footage they've seen from this class of drone. They love the main camera improvements and especially the versatility the two telephoto lenses add.
A real pro tool then.
That's how they framed it, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for pros who need those different focal lengths. They did mention one minor thing, no shutter angle control like you get on high-end cinema drones, but they stressed the autofocus was really solid.
Okay, so a top-tier camera system for its category. Let's shift to the drone itself. The design, performance, safety features.
Yeah.
Sounds like DJI focused on ease of use and just making it safer.
Definitely. Little things, like it can power on automatically when you unfold the arms. You can turn that off if you want, the manual says.
Oh, handy.
And you can set it to auto power off when you fold it, too. Plus, the new RC Pro 2 controller connects almost instantly. Just speeds up getting in the air.
Those little conveniences add up. What about handling tricky environments? The obstacle avoidance sounds like a major upgrade.
It really does. They've packed in 3 high-res cameras on the top, 3 on the bottom, plus front-facing LiDAR sensors built into the arms.
LiDAR? That's usually on much bigger drones, isn't it?
It is becoming more common, but yeah, it's a big deal here. It means the system has much higher resolution for detecting obstacles 4 times the resolution of the Air 3, apparently. It can spot smaller things like thin branches, even in low light.
And the LiDAR specifically helps with?
Things that confuse normal cameras, like glass windows or plain white walls. LiDAR uses laser pulses, so it doesn't rely on visual texture. It builds its own 3D map, and it works even when flying pretty fast, up to 18 meters per second.
Wow. Petapixel was impressed by this, right?
Very. They called it the most advanced collision avoidance systems known. Mentioned the 6 fisheye cameras giving that full 360 coverage.
So it feels safe.
Yeah, they said the basic mode where it just stops is great for beginners. But it can also navigate around things, like fly through trees. And there are settings for more advanced pilots to make it, a bit more agile, though that comes with slightly more risk.
But sometimes maybe too safe.
They did note that, yeah. In the really cautious modes, it could sometimes feel a bit timid, stopping maybe more abruptly than an experienced pilot would like. But overall, very robust.
Okay, a good balance then. Any other performance upgrades? Return to home.
Yeah, next-gen return to home. Like the Air 3S, it can build a map as it flies out, so even if it loses GPS signal, it can still find its way back safely by retracing its path using that visual map.
Ah, that's clever. Peace of mind in complex areas.
Definitely. Plus, it's designed to be very wind-resistant, hit speeds up to 25 meters per second. It's about 90 kilometers an hour.
Fast. And flight time.
Up to 51 minutes, which is really good. And the new O4 Plus transmission system doubles the theoretical range to 30 kilometers.
30 kilometers, wow. And better interference handling, too.
Yeah, optimized for when there are multiple drones around.
Good stuff. Okay, active track, that's a popular one. Any improvements there?
Quite a few, it seems. There's a manual mode now where you use a trace wheel on the controller to precisely pick one of 8 directions for the drone to follow from. Lets you create some really smooth cinematic tracking shots.
Oh, neat. More control.
Exactly. And the auto mode is smarter, too. It adjusts the path based on the environment and tries to make the shot look good aesthetically.
Yeah.
Better tracking range, 200 meters for vehicles, 25 for people, and approved prediction for vehicles.
Sounds much more sophisticated. What about the batteries themselves? Charging get any faster?
It did. There's a new 240-watt charger available. With the charging hub, it can juice up 3 batteries at the same time in about 90 minutes.
3 in 90 minutes. That's quick.
Yeah, or 1 battery in about 51 minutes. And you can charge via USB-C too. Interestingly, you can even use the drone's USB-C port to charge the batteries if needed.
Versatile. And getting footage off. Faster transfers?
Yep, Wi-Fi 6 on board for quicker wireless transfers to your phone or tablet. And a cool feature, off-state quick transfer. Lets you plug it into your computer and pull footage even when the drone is powered off.
Oh, that's actually really useful. Saves time. Okay, let's talk about the partner to this drone, the new RC Pro 2 controller. What's the headline feature there?
The screen? Definitely. It's a 7-inch mini LED display now. Super bright, 2,000 nits peak, 1,600 nits sustained. Should be fantastic for flying in bright sunlight.
Yeah, that's always been a pain point. A brighter screen makes a huge difference. Any other cool bits on the controller?
More convenient stuff, like the drone, it powers on when you unfold it, and the joysticks pop out automatically.
Nice little touches.
And this is pretty clever. The screen can rotate, so you can easily flip the app interface and the camera view to vertical. Perfect for framing shots for social media.
Ah, very smart. Thinking about vertical video, Is it only compatible with the Mavic 4 Pro?
No, it's designed to work with the Mini 4 Pro and the Air 3 series as well. So
Yeah.
if you have a couple of those newer DJI drones, you might just need the one Pro controller.
Good to know. So a premium controller for sure. Now, accessories and bundles. What comes with it? What should people think about getting?
Well, there's a redesigned shoulder bag, looks a bit darker, maybe bigger than the Air 3S one, and an easier snap-on gimbal guard.
Protection is key. And all the usual intelligent flight modes are there?
Oh yeah, master shots, quick shots, waypoints, panoramas, focus track, all that stuff is supported. Active track, point of interest, spotlight, cruise control,
Mm-hmm.
it's all in there.
Right. And the packages. What are the main options?
You've got the base option, drone, one battery, standard RC2 controller. Then the Fly More kit, which adds 2 more batteries, the charging hub, and a case, usually a good value.
Yeah, extra batteries are almost essential.
Totally. And then there's the Creator Combo. That swaps the standard controller for the new RC Pro 2. Plus, you get 512 gigs of internal storage on the drone itself, on top of the memory card slot.
And Petapixel recommended going for the Pro setup, right? The one with the RC Pro 2?
They did. They felt the extra batteries, the charging hub, and especially that much better screen on the RC Pro 2 made it the worthwhile investment for serious users.
Makes sense. Okay, so it all sounds pretty amazing, but nothing's perfect. Did our sources mention any potential downsides or things to watch out for?
Well, Petapixel did point out the obvious. It's a large investment. This kit, especially the Pro Combo, is not cheap. So budget is a real factor.
Understandable. Anything else?
They also repeated that point about the collision avoidance sometimes feeling a bit timid in the absolute safest modes. Maybe overly cautious for some experienced pilots.
Right, and the user manual. Any red flags in the fine print?
Not red flags exactly, but the manual excerpts highlighted just how many notices and warnings there are, covering everything from flight safety, weather conditions, how the sensors work or don't work in certain situations, battery care, how the smart features behave.
So basically read the manual.
Pretty much. It just underlines that even with all this tech, you really need to understand the system, its limits, and fly responsibly. It's a sophisticated tool.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we've covered a lot of ground on the Mavic 4 Pro and the RC Pro 2. Let's try and wrap up the key takeaways.
Sure. I mean, the big things are clearly that 360 infinity gimbal, opening up new creative shots, the significantly upgraded camera system with its 3 lenses giving great quality and versatility, the super advanced obstacle avoidance with LiDAR, adding a big safety net.
And just generally better performance flight time, range, ease of use features.
Exactly. It feels like a really refined, powerful package for anyone serious about aerial photos and video.
Yeah, some real aha moments for me. We're definitely that gimbal and the potential for those low light shots with the new sensor. It's impressive how DJI keeps pushing things forward.
It really is. And of course, these are early looks. We'll learn even more as people really start putting these drones through their paces in all sorts of conditions.
True. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. How could these new tools, like that crazy gimbal or the super smart obstacle avoidance, change your creative process? What kind of shots could you get now that felt out of reach before? What boundaries could you push? Something to think about.
Definitely. Lots of potential there.
All right, that's our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining us.